That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
What's up? My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs, man. I just said I wanted to start off with a public service announcement about the channel. Doing these streams, I think this is like day 58 in a row. We've had so much growth, like the channel's kind of grown at the rate that I wanted it to and stuff like that. And I'm grateful. I appreciate all the new viewers, all the commenters, everybody that interacts with the content. With new viewers and new people coming to my channel, it's a lot of new comments. And I'll say this about the comment section. Like, if you disagree with something I say, that's cool. However, when it gets personal, like when you start attacking me personally and stuff like that in the comments, or you start trying to come for the channel, like trying to take the channel down and report it just because you didn't like a video, that's where it's like, okay, I got to speak up. I got to respond to stuff because it's like, I work hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work hard. I've had this channel for a long time since I was a kid. And, you know, I'm 30 now. So it's like, so to have the channel for as long as I had, so many memories, so much work on here, and for people try to take it down off of stuff that, you know what I'm saying, non-valid reasons. But, you know, if enough people send kind of that robot up to YouTube, like YouTube might do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of this to say, like, I know the law. Like, I went to school for journalism. I have a journalism degree. So I know the law on what you can and cannot do with media coverage. This one thing of the Michael B. Jordan video in particular is what I'm talking about, where someone was like, I'm reporting this. You should too. We should get this video taken off of YouTube. And it's like the same headline and title and thumbnail and stuff that I use is no different than what CNN use, all hip hop use, Billboard. I did a whole thing where I put it. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys what I told the guy. And this is like the battle against comments. You'll never win because it's only one of you, and it's like hundreds of people, like strangers and stuff online. So you'll never win the battle against comments. However, I have to cover myself legally with this stuff because this is I feel like where it's crossing the line. Smitty said, clickbait thirsty YouTuber, I'm reporting that spam or misleading. You should too. I said, if you report this video, you should also report Variety, People, Hot New Hip Hop, E Online, People. Oh, I said People twice, my bad. New York Times, Vibe, the US Sun, Billboard, USA Today, and CNN as well, because they all use the same type of headlines and pictures with this Michael B. Jordan that's named at the beginning of the Diddy trial. And like I said, I'm not doing anything that is not legal because I know what's legal in media and what's not. Like I took classes on this. I went to college for this, paid thousands of dollars to take classes on these things. So all I'm asking for with people, new people coming into the channel, this is a PSA. Please, it's cool to disagree. It's cool to say, this is a stupid point. I don't agree with this. Like this, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to say all of that, bro. It's cool to even discuss me overusing the words bro and using filler words like boom, 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 you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, whatever the case might be, right? It's cool for you to say all of that. But when it gets personal with the racial slurs, okay, and saying, quoting words that I do not use, when it comes to accusing me of breaking laws and trying to take my channel down, when it comes to talking about my family, talking about my mother, my father, whoever you're trying to psychoanalyze my upbringing, my childhood, that we ain't doing. I ain't going for that. I'm gonna respond every time. I don't care how petty, insecure it looks. I'm going to respond every time because I work hard, bro. I work extremely hard, and this channel has been up for a long time. I'm not just gonna have you guys take it down on some, you know what I'm saying, on some hating stuff. So I wanted to say that. Now into the music, which is the basketball. Big thing, man. Big thing happened today in the WNBA, or the past 2 days in the WNBA. So Laeticia Amihere She scored 20 points off the bench in her preseason debut with the Golden State Valkyries. The highlights, they look pretty good. One thing I would say, if there was anything that I had to give, is kind of the set shot with her 3-pointer in the corner. It took a little minute to come off her hands and things of that sort, but it went in. Driving, midi, anything midi inside, she just has it. She has it down pat. Her length is a benefit for her on both ends of the floor. And these are things that we've always known about LA. And the reason why the All right, yeah. But that's exactly why those tools and abilities that Leticia Amihere had. That's exactly why the Atlanta Dream fans were like, "Why isn't LA playing? Why isn't LA playing more?" And it's the reason why I, as someone covering the team, asked the question, because it was a question coming from the fans, and it wasn't just a South Carolina. It was a thing of, you guys are losing a lot of games right now. You guys are in a losing streak. You guys were down by 20 plus points in the second half. Why wasn't Leticia Amihere put in the game in the third quarter as opposed to fourth quarter? And it was like, we have a lot of good players. She's on the depth chart, this and that. And then Leticia played, and she played well. And I said, how'd you feel about Leticia's contributions to the lineup tonight? I'm thinking it's cool. Boy, the previous regime with the Dream was not cool with that questioning. They let me get the first question. I asked it. Everybody knew what the question was going to be, including the previous regime. It was tripping. It was a mess. So, anyways, Carson Mesco comes in. For some reason, the franchise decides to move on from Leticia Amihere, and now this is a very, very interesting decision. Now that LA had a breakout game in the preseason with her new franchise and stuff like that, it seems like she's given more freedom. It's an expansion team. They did cut Cheyenne Seller, so there's that. Maybe that opened up more room for Leticia as well. But it's going to bring up this question and this debate and this conversation throughout the entire season, which I think is personally unfair, but it doesn't matter what I think is fair and what's not. It just is what it is. But it's always going to be a thing of, why did Atlanta choose Haley Jones over Leticia Amihere? Now, Haley Jones had a pretty good above average rookie season. That was 2023. 2024 was a bad season for her. It got to the point where her confidence, bro, was just so bad. She wasn't even looking at the rim. She wasn't even trying to shoot. All she was doing, like, she got the ball, she immediately is looking at other teammates, and the defenders are sagging off of her, but she's not going to drive or anything, or not. You know what I'm saying? Because her confidence was just so shaken and so low. And that was just tough to watch last season. So you get a new coach in. She says in the preseason, well, in the training camp interviews, media availability, that, like, with this new system, she should be able to showcase more of her game and her abilities and talents. And she's very excited for the season. We come in, first game of the preseason, Haley Jones plays less than 8 minutes, and she puts up just cardio. Zeros across the board, except for 2 turnovers. Uh, pretty tough preseason debut for Haley Jones, and her kind of make or break season. I made a video speaking about it earlier. This is something that I'm watching in the league. I think that it's just very interesting and intriguing to see how it pans out with Haley Jones in a make or break season, because once the team that drafted you lets you go, it can kind of become a free fall. You can become a journeyman or journeywoman throughout the league, and you just don't know what is to come from that afterwards. Haley she was actually a 0, so she wasn't a minus, which is, I guess, saying good and things of that sort. But she was just on the floor, and it wasn't always positive. She didn't kind of force her way to, like, make an impact directly on the game, the same way that Tahina Pow did, for example, and things of that sort. If you go back to the box score, let me see how much Pow Pow finished with. Pow Pow played over 20 minutes. She's really fighting for, people talking about her fighting for her spot, including myself, fighting for her spot versus Cheyenne Sellers, the new signee and things of that sort. But Pow Pow had 7 points, 4 assists. How many? Is this a block shot? A block shot, a steal. She was +5. She hit all 3 of her free throws, and she was 3 or 4 from 3-point range. Wait, hold on. How you 3 or 4 from? This Nia Coffee. My bad. She was 1 of 7 from. 1 of 7 for 3. Tina Pop out. Hold on. Let me get this right. Let me. Okay, cool. Highlight this. Okay, so she was -4, but she was 7 points, a block shot, 4 assists, and how many rebounds? 2 rebounds, and she was 1 of 7 from 3-point range. So yeah, I mean, but Pow Pow was aggressive, bro. She was aggressive, and she let her impact be known on the game. Haley Jones didn't necessarily do that. She kind of just blended in, and like I said, that's going to lead to this season-long discussion of why did Atlanta hold on to Haley Jones over Laeticia Amihere. Me personally, if you guys were back on the channel back then in 2023, I was going crazy over the dream, taking both Haley and Amihere. I thought they won the draft. I thought it was kind of like obvious picks. Like Haley fell to the dream, believe it or not, because she was supposed to be like a top 3 pick. The season before, they won the national championship at Stanford, and she was like the top player, tournament most outstanding player, all of these things. She comes back another year, and the next year her stock kind of falls because she just doesn't have as good of a season as she had the year before. That being said, I'm still like, this is still the player that led her team to a national championship, and she was the most outstanding player and things of that sort. And I was like, man, y'all let her fall outside the top 5 to the dream, and then let the dream get Amihere. Man, y'all is in trouble. But Amihere just never played. Haley had a good rookie season. Sophomore season, I don't know what happened. Her confidence just poofed. They placed her kind of full-time point guard, trying to force her at point guard. The project didn't necessarily work. And now it's looking like Haley's still struggling in a new system, a new coach, while Amihere is shining because literally and figuratively, because like she's getting minutes. So I don't know. It's a difficult thing. Me personally, I still believe in Haley just because of how I was introduced to her game. I really liked her game when I was first started watching her at Stanford, and I saw flashes throughout her rookie season, so I know it's still there. And I know she loves the game because if you watch her pod, she obviously loves the game of basketball. She commentates the game about so she's passionate about the game. I don't know what it is, man, that's gonna need to click for her. I don't know if it's a mental thing where she just needs to woosah and just block out all the outside pressures. People like me saying, "Is this make or break for Haley Jones?" I don't know what it is. If it is mental, I'm sure it is, just because we've seen the talent flashes and stuff throughout the last couple of years of her career. She just needs to get back to Haley Jones, the original talent, not only to make this roster, because she'll probably make the roster if she has a guaranteed contract. Beyond that, to be a formidable player and live up to her full potential and maximize her WNBA career, because I feel like she has the ability to do that. LA, salute to LA. A lot of people were like, maybe she might go to Toronto when the Toronto tempo starts and stuff like that, and play for our hometown team and things of that sort. For the time being, I hope she has a good year in Golden State. Fresh start, more air, more energy, more minutes. And we'll also see, like I said, what happens with Cheyenne Seller on the Atlanta side of things. But that's another example. Pow Pow came in. She was aggressive. She got 20 plus minutes to show her talents and abilities with the first game of showing aggression. And then now you got Cheyenne Sellers, who's going to come in hungry as well. She's already been cut, so her play is going to be elevated to another level. And a lot of people are saying she could be like a point forward type of hybrid type of player, which is the exact same thing that you're looking at with Haley Jones. So it's like you got two players, two rookies coming in behind you who are hungry for the spot that you've been holding for the last 2 seasons. And really, the franchise is bringing in because they don't necessarily feel all the way confident in your abilities. Ashley Jones, just worthy of note, less than 8 minutes as well. Pretty similar stats to what Haley Jones put up. So that's something else to watch. I know a lot of people, or at least Nate, when I told him the last 4 players I thought could compete for the last 3 spots, he said Ashley Jones was his player getting cut. Ashley Jones is another player that I've liked since college over at Iowa State and stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But I don't think you can write off Haley Jones based off of this one preseason game, but it's not a good sign. BG, Brittany Griner was hitting threes. She started off the game hitting 2 threes. She only attempted 2 and hit both of them. So those were the first 2 threes of the game. I know I questioned her ability to be able to space the floor in Carson Mesco's system. You know, you think of 5 wide, 5 spread, running gun, Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less. And I mean, BG's look like she's adjusted. I feel like everybody that did Unrivaled, they're especially the bigs, they benefited the most from doing Unrivaled. 3-on-3 full court basketball because it forces everybody up there to develop some type of guard skills, whether it's playing along the perimeter or bringing the ball up from coast to coast. We've seen that with Angel Reese with Chicago, and now we're seeing that over here in Atlanta with Brittany Griner. And of course, she's implemented the 3-point shot a little more in the past few years, but I don't know. It just looks a little more confident, like she's got it down pat after just shooting threes all winter at Unrivaled. So should be an interesting thing. Ryan Howard did Ryan Howard things as always. Leash, more of a quiet game scoring wise, only 7 points, but she still had. Dang, BG had 10 rebounds. She still had four rebounds, 3 assists. So she still affected the game in different ways and stuff. Jordan Canada went down with an injury, a knee injury, like the first play of the game. You see 35 seconds of gameplay there. And it's sad, man, that Jordan just came back from an injury last season, played the last couple months of the season, developed a little more chemistry with her dream teammates on the floor, and Unrivaled playing for Vinyl next alongside Ryan Howard and stuff. And just to come back and suffer another injury is it's very tough. So y'all make sure y'all pray for Jordan Canada if prayer is your thing, or just well wishes if you believe in that stuff as well. But I don't know, man. That's tough. And it also kind of opens up things on the basketball side of things for players like Shatori Walker, Kimbrough, Tahina Papau, and Cheyenne Sellers as well, as I previously mentioned. So we'll see how they kind of, fight for those minutes and how the point guard situation is handled. Shatori, it seemed like she struggled against her former team. I don't know if it's just because they just had the scouting report on her. This is a new franchise she's with in Atlanta, but she looked like she was kind of trying to find her footing. She still finished +7, but just watching the game. And she had 4 steals, which is crazy. But she still looked like she was kind of trying to find her footing out there, in my opinion. Chris in the building, man. I hope Sellers' knee is okay. I wouldn't think the Valkyries would have cut her over Chin if not. But it's like, why would you draft her? You know what I'm saying, Chris? Like why would you draft her if you didn't think her knee was right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't draft you in the first place if I didn't think your knee was good. If I didn't think your knee was good enough. And then Cheyenne's family said that this didn't have anything to do with her injury. So I guess only time will tell, right? Only time will tell. So yeah, that's how I feel about the whole Haley Jones and the Laeticia Amihere thing. I think it's going to be a discussion throughout the league this season, especially within the Atlanta Dream fan base, which is kind of a very specific corner of the league. Of just, why was this chosen over this? But I still believe in Haley. And hopefully the franchises too to give her a fair shot, because Diamond Johnson didn't get a fair shot. She didn't play in her preseason games and then they cut her. Harmony Turner, she played. I ain't gonna lie, she played. So she played. It was just Deja Kelly just kind of shine, bro. Deja Kelly took it. You got to be a dog, bro. Harmony Turner's a dog too. She'll get a chance again. I hope it's this season. But like people say, we need roster expansions, number one, and two, you need a G League, a developmental league for like all the roster. You know what I'm saying? So they could still work on their games and stay sharp and just get called up when someone gets hurt, or you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of players are getting hurt. A lot of players are tearing their ACLs right now in the WNBA. Knock on wood, but that's just like the reality of the situation of what's going on. And there's an entire study about women athletes tearing their ACLs at a higher rate than men. I did that video when Juju got hurt. But yeah, so with that being said, there's going to be players who are going to get called in throughout the year. And I think a G League would be more beneficial than having them just kind of work out at a local YMCA until they get called up. All right. Cool. Next thing. Let's do it. ESPN's top 25 WNBA players of the season. Dun, dun, dun. This is my first time looking at this. I saw from iTalk Hoops, I believe it was the same page that posted this about Laeticia. I saw them post the list on Twitter, but I didn't read it. I think I just saw Asia Wilson was one, and I believe they had Caitlin Clark in the top 5, excuse me. And they had like Caitlin Clark at 4. So that's all I saw. With that being said, let's get into it. This was written by Michael, or I guess the entire ESPN staff. ESPN player rankings historically be tripping. Like, I remember they had like Jeremy Lin over Kobe Bryant one year in the NBA player rank. It was something like that. That was just like ridiculous, bro. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, Asia Wilson. Shout out Michael. Michael Vopel wrote this, Hall of Fame writer. Okay, cannot disagree with that. Number 2, Fee Sakali. Cannot disagree with that. Number 3, Stewie, number 3, cannot disagree with that. Number 4, Caitlin Clark. Here's where we go, man. Here's where we go, because Caitlin obviously led the league in assists last season, set the league record in assists last year. And she should get better this year because she came back and bulked up. And a lot of the things that she was struggling with early on was what did they say? Was just her getting bullied around and pushed around and stuff like that. And I think it led to a lot of the turnovers, the ball falling out, and things of that sort. Chris said pretty good list. They don't do well with women's basketball lists. we just reacted to their rankings with the draft prospects a couple of weeks ago, and I was not rocking with it, bro. How they had like Flage at like 5 or 6. I'm like, come on, dog. You know, like be so for real, bro. But yeah, I'll rock with this. I think this is more a projection to have Caitlin be the 4th best player this year by the end of the year, because I think just straight up, if you're talking about like based off of last season, her as a rookie, I wouldn't say that she was number 4 in the league. However, now a full off season, she got big in the gym, a year older. You seen how she really settled in and kind of figured out the game at the second half of the season last year. I think we're going to see more of that this season from her. And so, yeah, I don't disagree with her being at 4 now based off of how good she should play this season. Number 5, Alyssa Thomas, AT. It's a triple-double machine, man, an MVP candidate, perennial MVP candidate every single season. She's in the conversation. I'm not mad at this. Jonquel Jones, JJ at number 6. Sabrina Ionescu, number 7. All right, bro. Like, what's going on, bro? Like, John Quell, former MVP, great player, everything like that. A little dip in her actual statistics of like scoring, going to the New York Liberty, sharing the floor with Sabrina Ionescu, sharing the floor with Benijah Laney Hamilton, sharing the floor with Stewie, sharing, you know what I'm saying? Like they had a super team a couple years ago, and it's still a somewhat super team, but it's taking a hit. Her points have taken a hit just going to New York. But Sabrina, Ionescu, Sabine, I ain't gonna lie to you. Big fan, and she has cold moments. Do I think she's number 7 in the league? No. But we'll see who they have below her, and I'll say this person should be above her. So let's see. Nneka Nwumike, Nneka should be above Sabrina Ionescu. Nneka should be above Sabrina Ionescu. You can make the argument Jackie Young should be above Sabrina Ionescu. Is Caitlin Clark better than Nneka? See, I don't know, man. These are the things I'm looking at. Let me read the thing for Nneka, because I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was like, oh, you ain't did that. I didn't pay that much attention to Nneka's individual performance last season with Seattle, but I know how consistent she's been throughout the past decade and how she's always been one of the better players in the league. Nwumike's move to Seattle after 12 years with Los Angeles was a big boost to the Storm, who returned to the postseason after missing it in 2023. Nwumike has been a model of consistency since she's entered the league as the number 1 pick in 2012. That continued last season as her numbers were nearly identical to her career averages. She made the All-Star, All WNBA, and All Defensive Second teams and competed in her 9th All-Star game. So why is she below Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark? I see these are the things that I don't agree with. Jackie Young being at, I don't agree with that. I think Jackie Young should be at 7. I think Nneka Nwumike should be at 4. Okay, so here's how I do it. I'll put Nneka at 4. I could put Caitlin over Alyssa Thomas. I'll put Caitlin at 5. Alyssa Thomas 6. John Quell 7. I said is 7. Jackie Young. I'll put Jackie Young at 8. Then I'll put Sabrina Ionescu number 9. Then I'll put Kelsey Plum number 10. I got Sabrina Ionescu over Kelsey Plum. And I know some people be like, bro, I'll put Kelsey over Sabrina. Kelsey's a dog, bro. And she's going to get the opportunity, I think, for the first chance in her career. First chance since the San Antonio days that she'll have her own team. Like, she'll be the best player on the team. This is your team. You're running it. All due respect to De'Erica Hamby. I think D-Ham will probably agree to, like, this is Kelsey's team. And, yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see how Kelsey handles that. Let's see. Number 11, Ka Copper. Bro, okay. Is Kelsey Plum better than Ka Copper, bro? I don't know. Satu. All right. So Satu, I don't think anybody has, like, Satu would be higher if she was healthy. Like, I feel like Satu is probably better than AT, but AT just plays more. So that's the only thing with Satu. So we'll see what happens this season. I'm wishing good health on her and for a good season from Satu, but I don't know. Kelsey Mitchell 13. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. Kelsey Mitchell been balling darn near 19, 20-point scorer her whole career. She's never been as high as 13 on one of these lists, bro. This is the Caitlin Clark effect, bro. 100%. Kelsey Mitchell been hooping her entire career, bro. Legit. And she's always been like the poster child for most underrated player in the NBA, in the WNBA. So to see this is like funny. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. I would 100% say that. Number 14, Arike. Oh, how they have fallen. Arike being outside the top 10 a couple years ago, you'd be like, what? It's Jewel Lloyd. I'm thinking about Jewel. How far down low is Jewel Lloyd? They got Kayla McBride over Jewel Lloyd. This is clickbait. Salute to Kayla McBride. Shout out to K-Mac. Kayla McBride over Jewel Lloyd. All right. So they had Enrique 14. They got Kayla McBride 15. They got Chelsea Gray over Jewel Lloyd. They got Jewel Lloyd this low. They got Brittany Griner over Jewel. Wait, hold on. Okay. Brittany Griner, Skylar Dinkins. So they got the OGs now. They got stop it. First of all, this is messy. Second of all, no. Second of all, no. Stop it. BG hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie. BG one of them ones. Chelsea Gray is one of them ones. Kayla McBride is nasty too. At the same time, like above Jewel Lloyd is crazy. Sky is one of them ones too. If you know, you know for sure. Chris said, I'll be interested to see who you think they got wrong most on the list. It seems like Sabrina so far. I think they got Jewel too high. She had a bad season last year. Not that bad. 19 is crazy, dog. Sky one of them ones, though. If you know, you know. Skylar Diggins. Back to Diggins, bro. I do, baby. Ryan Howard 20. I respect this. For Ryan. And the thing is, Ryan is easily, like if you talk about talent, Ryan could be as high as top 5. Just raw talent. I don't think it could be 5 players more talented than Ryan Howard, bro. To be honest, off of pure talent. But it's just like the inconsistencies, bro, it just levels out on the court. The inconsistencies, bro. So it's like, for that, me personally, I think Ryan is still top 15 just because she's a top 5 talent. 20 is kind of getting low. However, I still understand why outsiders would say 20. I still will understand it because it's just like folks be inconsistent. Hello. Aaliyah Boston 21. I'm not mad at her being 21. I'm not mad at De'Erica Hamby being 22. Alicia Gray. Now, a lot of people will say they like Leash over Ryan. I still think Ryan is a better player than Leash. I just think Leash is more consistent, though. It's like I know what I'm going to get from Leash most times. Ironic that this comes from today where Leash, had 7 points and Ryan had double her points. Still, I still think Leash is more consistent, kind of more reliable. Like I know I can get 17 from Leash. Ryan, I could get 27 or I could get 7. And that's the whole thing. Ezzy 24. I'm not mad at Ezzy top 25. She's definitely earned that. Angel Reese 25 is crazy, though. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Angel Reese 25 is crazy, dog. I gotta keep it a bean, bro. I have to keep it a bean, dude. Angel Reese should be top 15. If Caitlin Clark is 4, Angel Reese should be top 15, bro. Angel Reese should be top 15. Angel Reese should be top 15. Let me see. All right, so was the list just top 25 players? It wasn't top 50? I think it was top 25. Okay, it was top 25. Oh, for the 2025 season. That's cute. ESPN. All right, let me see who I could put Angel Reese in. Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, Stewie, Caitlin Clark, AT, John Quell. I could put Angel Reese right here. I can't put Angel Reese over NECA. I can put Angel Reese over Jackie Young. Respectfully, Jackie Young. I could put Angel Reese over. That's tough. That's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. I could put over Kelsey. Defense matters. I could put over Kelsey Plum. Cog Copper, that's tough too. Satu. See, when Satu healthy, bro, it ain't too many players better than her in the league, bro. I could put Angel Reese over Kelsey Mitchell. Respectfully, shout out to Cincinnati. Shout out to Scholar Black. But I could put her above Kelsey Mitchell. Arike is cold, but Angel is one of the best defenders in the league. I could put her over Arike for the defense. Kayla McBride, I could for sure respectfully salute to K-Mac. One of the vets, one of them ones in the league. When she gets it going, can't nobody stop her. But I'm gonna go Angel Reese over Kayla McBride. Chelsea Gray at this status, at this point of her career, and yes, I watched Unrivaled. She hooped and she was crazy as always. The point guard. I don't know if I'll put Angel Reese over. I ain't gonna lie to you. Brittany Griner at this stage of their careers, BG can shoot threes now, bro. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know about that one. Skylar Diggins. If I'm building a team, I'll pick Angel Reese before I pick 2025 Skylar Diggins to start my team. And if this was like 2018, 2015, I'll pick Skylar Diggins. Of course, if Angel Reese was her current age in 2015, of course. Jewel Lloyd, I'll take Angel Reese over Jewel Lloyd. Respectfully, Ryan. I think Ryan's more talented than Angel Reese. Like I said, Ryan's a top 5 talent in the world, bro. It's not 5 players on Earth, planet Earth, more talented than Ryan Howard. What I know I'm gonna get, I know I'm gonna get 13 and 13 from Angel Reese. If you had to pick between Angel Reese and Ryan Howard, where are you going? I guess I go Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard is more talented. She just got more finesse, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta keep it a bean. I can't lie. Angel Reese or Aaliyah Boston. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll probably pick Aaliyah Boston. I can't even lie to you. I will put Angel Reese respectfully over De'Erica Hamby. Hamby had a great season last year with the Sparks. She was playing mad because they traded her. But I'll still pick Angel over her. Leash, I'll put Angel over Leash. Ezzy is a great defender, bro. She might be like a better defender than Angel Reese. Right, say, I don't know. She might get it, bro. Ezzy might got it over her, dog. But I'll pick. I feel like Angel has more of a offensive arsenal because she could bring the ball up, she can handle the ball, things of that sort. I don't know, man. 25 is kind of disrespectful in my opinion. I just named like how many? About 5, 6, 7 players. Yeah. Chris said he has Ezzy at 17 and 18. I respect that 100%. 36% shooting and didn't pass the ball to Nneka or Ezzy. I think Seattle will be better without her, but we will see. That's what Scholar. You sound like Diggins, bro. You sound like Miss Diggins, dog. Skylar Diggins said the same thing. She was like, the team is so much better now without her. This is the most talented team I ever had, which is crazy. We'll see what happens. But I mean, Joel Lloyd is just like the best scorer in the world, bro. It's her and Arike every single year. They're the 2 best scorers in the world. I feel like that needs to count for something. Where does Paige Beckers in? Does Paige Beckers in the season as a top 25 player in the league? I think she has to. Doesn't have to, but I think it's definitely possible that she ends up as a top 25 player this season. I guess they want to be respectful. Oh, yeah, they say. Rookies were not eligible, though they can break into the list as we continue to update it throughout the season. Oh, so they're trying to keep the conversation and debate going. Salute to ESPN, man. Great idea. idea, ESPN, for sure. All right, now I'm leaving basketball, and we are going into the news for the night, and then we are out of here. So we have 2 newsy things to speak on, and we are out, y'all. Okay, some very somber news out in Tennessee, Memphis. This was a trial and a situation that I covered when it occurred a couple of years ago. We drove up to Memphis for it, went to the rallies and all that, community gatherings with Reverend Al Sharpton, and yeah, so it came back, man. The verdict came back. Miscarriage of justice. Ex-Memphis police officers in the Tyree Nichols case found not guilty. This was written by Lucas Fenton of the Memphis Commercial Appeal. Shout out to my old employer at Gannett. After 8.5 hours of deliberation, the jury in the Tyree Nichols state case returned a blanket of not guilty verdict for 3 of the former police officers charged with unaliving Nichols on May 7th. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith Jr. were charged with second-degree unaliving, aggravated A, aggravated K, official misconduct, and official oppression. The jury, an all-white jury from Hamilton County, found all 3, and the cops are black, by the way, if you want to know, all 3 not guilty on each count. The jury found them not guilty on all charges, as well as lesser charges they could have been convicted of, which is insane because dude is no longer living. We have no idea what the verdict was, whatever it is, poker faces. We will still have the chance to talk about it. Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman said to the family ahead of the jury being brought into the courtroom. Judge James Jones Jr. made similar, albeit much more neutral, admonition. Hold on. We got Google. We're not doing that. Admonishment. Hold on.
Admonishment.
There we go. Admonishment. Much more neutral. Admonishment to the entire gallery after the court was called back into session. As the not guilty verdicts were read off by Jones, some of Nichols' family members could be seen crying. The now acquitted officers were hugging with their attorneys, with the former officers' family members were crying after the jury left. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. One family member of the former officer could be heard shouting repeatedly in the hallway. The sister of Tyree Nichols. Dang, that's tough. In the wake of the acquittals, the legal team representing the Nichols family said they were outraged by the verdict. Today's verdicts are a devastating miscarriage of justice, said Ben Crump and Antonio. Dang, Ben Crump don't be winning nothing, bro. You're like, gosh, Lee. He just be getting TV time, it feel like, said Ben Crump and Antonio Romanucci. The attorneys representing Nichols' family said in the press release, the world watches Tyree Nichols was beaten to unalive by those sworn to protect and serve. That brutal and inhumane was captured on video, yet the officers responsible were acquitted. Tyree's life was stolen and his families were denied the justice they so deeply deserve. We are outraged and we know we are not alone. Nichols' family did not speak after the trial, instead opting to leave the courthouse. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy said the family was devastated after the verdict when prosecutors spoke with him. He went on to say that he, along with the prosecution team of Hagerman and assistant district attorneys Melanie Headley and Tanisha Johnson, disagreed with the jury's verdict. We in good faith bought this case, and I'm convinced to this day that we had a compelling evidence that showed that there was proof for every element of every one of the offenses that we charged. Mulroy said in the press conference after the verdict. The jury took a different view. That is, of course, their right. Mulroy and the trial team declined the Monday morning quarterback their trial strategy, refusing to say what they would change if they would have. They also could not say what proof from the defense case was the most salient. We knew that this was going to be difficult. Hagerman said we were trying to the 3 least culpable in terms of, obviously, Mr. Martin was the primary actor and he's entered a plea deal, a guilty plea. Mr. Mills with the baton strikes, again, a primary actor, crazy, as he's entered a guilty plea. So we knew the trial would be hard. Despite being found not guilty in state court, all 3 have been convicted in federal court and face time in federal prison. Sentencing for federal case was postponed until the state case reached the end. So even though they were acquitted in state, they still are going to federal prison, which is worse than state. So I wonder, like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that different? Like, I guess the jury is just like, oh, we don't care what the federal ruling was. We're going to go with what we want in Tennessee, which I think is just wild. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, how you in federal, oh, yeah, you're guilty. But in state, it's like, no, you're not guilty. Like, y'all ain't do it. Or y'all not guilty of the things that we saw you do on video. That offense is crazy. Like, how did they get off with this? Bean and Smith, I guess it just comes down to the jury, right? Just being like, this wasn't, I don't know. I don't even, I honestly don't get it. Or like Tyree did something to provoke the officers. I have no clue. I don't know. Bean and Smith were found guilty in the federal case of witness tampering and face up to 20 years in federal prison. Haley was found not guilty on all counts using excessive force, being deliberately indifferent to Nichols' medical needs, witness tampering, and conspiracy to witness tampering. But the jury found that when Haley violated Nichols' civil rights, it resulted in injury, not unaliving. Haley could serve a life sentence in federal prison. There is no parole in the federal system. Jeez. Two other former officers, Emmett Martin III and Desmond Mills Jr., all pleaded guilty in a federal case to using excessive force and conspiracy to witness tamper. Mills' plea agreement extended to the state case, and he will both serve both his federal and state sentences at the same time. It is not yet clear what Martin's plea will look like in state court. Martin and Mills testified during the federal trial. Mills testified during the state trial. Mulroy, when asked what the message this verdict gives to the police in Memphis, said the guilty verdicts in the federal court provided some consequences for their actions. He did, however, say that this verdict shows the need for reform. If we're going to have any silver lining from this dark cloud of both the event itself and, in my view, today's verdict, it has to be what we need to reaffirm our commitment to police reform and to doing what we need to do to make sure that tragedies like this never happen again, he said. This is the developing story and will be updated. Lucas Fenton covers. Shout out to Lucas Fenton. This case didn't receive that much attention. It didn't receive that much attention. A, I think because the officers were black, and then B, because people had fatigue from fake caring. A lot of people fake cared in the summer of 2020 because they couldn't go outside. And then when they got tired of it, you know, you kind of see what you see now with all the businesses and corporations cutting out their DEI programs after they said in 2020, we're dedicated to DEI. It's more than just 3 letters to us. It's a lifestyle. It's a requirement. It's a right. And then as soon as like Trump goes in and says DEI is garbage, get rid of it, they're like, yes, master. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's by the time Tyree Nichols, his tragedy occurred, it was a couple years. People were starting to go back outside again. Like I said, I drove up to Memphis to cover it. That's something I probably never would have done in 2020 just because of, you know what I'm saying, health, you know what I'm saying, health concerns. But this is something that should still be talked about. Tyree Nichols' life was still taken by police officers and it was caught on camera. Let me see what Nathan said. Shout out Big Nate in the building. He said, what's good? Nate, we just doing a couple news stories, man, to end the night. That's it. That's all we doing. Just a little bit of straightening. You missed the basketball talk. You know what I mean? I hope all is well with you, my brother. And it's good to see you in the chat again. But yeah, the Tyree Nichols story needs to be continuously told because a family lost a member of their family at a very, very young age over people who are supposed to protect and serve us, people who we pay their salaries for. You know what I'm saying? So as taxpayers. Let me see. He was 29 years old when that happened. He was 29 years old and it happened in 2023. That's crazy. It felt like 2022, but it was 2023. I guess because it was so early in the year. Yeah, man. Devastating. Pray for the family. Pray for all those involved, and pray for the jury as well. If saying all that stuff, pray for everybody involved. And well, it'd be interesting to see the federal sentencing now, if it's going to be harsher than what it would have been beforehand or whatever, just because they got off in the state. So we'll see what happens. But there's that. Just be sure to remember this story and to keep it at the forefront of your mind. Don't just forget it, because it's like 2025. Like, if y'all care, like y'all said y'all care, like care. That's my message for. Okay, next scene. Last thing of the night, and then we are out of here, man. It's 50 minutes. W stream. A teacher from Metro Atlanta was charged with threatening to pew 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 students and co-workers. Now, I'll tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. There was a time where I was in 6th grade. When I was in 6th grade, Virginia Tech tragedy happened. And 6th grade was like the worst year for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was the worst year for me. I'm getting bullied out the wazoo. I'm getting bullied in class. I'm getting bullied in the hallways. We had Bebo back then, which was like a social media website that wasn't blocked on our student laptops like MySpace was. And on Bebo, folks would be roasting me on Bebo. Man, it was bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And so, like, me, you might have a clue from this page, from this YouTube, but I can be a bit slick at the mouth. Like that's how I really like learn how to get so slick with the comebacks and stuff like that with roasting. Is because I was like, people was just, being mean to me and stuff like that. So I had to learn how to fight back. So, I'm being slick or whatever. On Bebo, I said, who quote unquote thinks they're the coolest? And I feel like 4 kids' names in the grade. And like this one dude, he like responded with paragraphs. Boy, your shells, I don't give a god. And it was funny to me. I was like, it's whatever. And I had to go face those kids. Like, it was 6th grade, a lot happened. So I preface that to say, when the Virginia Tech tragedy happened, we sitting in there in the room, we about to do standardized testing. And I was like, they were like, it's crazy what they did to Virginia Tech. I was like, I thought of doing that once. They said, what? Rashad, what? And the teacher wasn't in there. Teacher comes in with the test, and the girl says, Rashad just in it. Man, they took me to the office so fast, bro. And the principal, salute to the principal, man. Stay 10 toes, man. He said, why you say that? I said, it was just like a heat of the moment thing for real. Like, woo, woo. And he said, I don't think you meant that. Did you? I said, no, sir. Buddy left me off, man. I could have been expelled from the school system right then and there. My whole little academic career would have had a whole stain on it. Mama would have been mad at me for sure. I would have had to change schools, change school systems, a whole nine. I say all that to say I did that, and that was extremely stupid of me to do, to say. You shouldn't say something like that. I was 11 years old. This is a grown man here, bruh. This is a grown man here. And now we go into the story. Newton County, teacher from Metro Atlanta charged with threatening to his students and coworkers. This is from the WSTV.com news staff. Warren County, Georgia. A man from Metro Atlanta who taught at a nearby county has been charged and arrested with threatening to his students and coworkers. First of all, 22 years old. What is you doing being a teacher, bro? The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the GBI, says Mason Garrett, 22 of Newton County, has been charged with 1 count of terroristic threats and acts. You shouldn't be teaching, bro. You shouldn't be teaching. You shouldn't be teaching again. He obviously can't handle it. There's a lot that comes with being a teacher, bro. Kids throw stuff at you, call you names. This man got glasses, so they might be like, man, if you don't get your glasses, boy, if you don't get your patch beard, I'm saying that with my patch beard. If you don't get your patch beard, big forehead, high top, man. If you can't handle that, you probably don't need to be a teacher, bro. Just a word of advice. It was like what people were saying with Shador in the NFL draft. It was like, he comes with a lot. He comes with all the attention of his father and this and that. And Ryan Clark was like, if you can't handle that, you probably shouldn't be an NFL coach. Plain and simple. Garrett is a teacher at Warren County High School. Last month, a school resource officer requested the GBI to investigate an incident that happened on April 24th involving Garrett. Investigators said Garrett threatened to boom, boom, boom with the students and the staff at the school. It's unclear what led to the threats. Garrett was arrested and booked in the McDuffie County Jail. He has since been bonded out. So what's he going to do? Go back to work and just like follow through with his threats? Yeah, he never needs to work as a teacher again. You know, I know people, like they said, everybody has their days, everybody has off days where they're upset and snap at people and snap at their coworkers. I get it. At the same time, being a teacher and working in education is not one of those fields where you're afforded that luxury. It's just like working in the medical field. You know, everybody makes mistakes. Being a brain surgeon is not a field where you're afforded the luxury of making a mistake. It just comes with the territory. So this 22-year-old doesn't need to be teaching again. I don't want to see this news story not be told and people not bringing him up anymore, and then he's rehired at some other nearby school system a few months later. He doesn't need to be anywhere near kids in an education school setting again, in my opinion. And there's that. Like I said, we all have our days. We all snap. We all get mad. But threatening to that level of unaliving children and unaliving your colleagues on the job, on campus, should never be tolerated in any place of work, but especially a school in America. Like, come on, like read the room here, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure a student probably said, this might have been what happened. A student was pushing him and said that he looked like one of those people who were pew, pew, pew up the school or whatever. And he was like, oh, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll really do it. Maybe that was it. Maybe that's what happened. But even then, like, you're supposed to be the adult of the situation. You know, you can't let kids take you over. That's why I'm not a teacher. That's why I'm not a teacher. Well, I don't know why I said that. Like, I wouldn't have the. I think I could have the patience, bro. I don't know though. I be snapping sometimes on the channel, so I don't know. Dealing with kids on a day-to-day basis. You need to be like called to do that work. That's not a job you can just do. Especially like being a special ed teacher and stuff like that. Like, you have to be called to do that work. You have to be called to work in a foster home. You have to be called to work in a senior citizen home and an assistant living village. Like, you have to be called to do that type of work. That's not easy at all, bro. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of understanding, a lot of empathy, a lot of all of those things. Passion. So yeah. Long story less long. You're 22. You're bonded out. You're out on bond now. Find another profession. You got plenty of time, bro. You're only 22. As always, my name is Rashad Milligan. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Stream nearly an hour. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves. If nobody else told you today, I care for you. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Peace.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.